Education 2023. This is Research 1, and we will have Arti Chopra, the principal of Amity International School in India, to share on the topic Approaches Towards Holistic and Multidisciplinary Education. For participants, if you would like to pose a question, please drop it in the Q&A box. And I will now pass the time to Arti Chopra.
Thank you so much. Just give me a moment to share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right. So, good day, everyone. My name is Arti Chopra, and I am here to present before you my research paper on approaches towards holistic and multidisciplinary education for diverse career opportunities. As part of aesthetic education, this is one area where a lot of art, sports, as well as various kinds of experiential learning, problem based learning, integration can take place. In India, new education policy got introduced in 2020 and it aims at promoting holistic and multidisciplinary learning. This means that a number of subjects need not be taught in silos. In fact, they all could be integrated with each other so as to have the objective of education, one of the objective which is holistic learning could be achieved. The possibility of multidisciplinary education are so many. If you look at my screen, through multidisciplinary learning, the students they can learn more in lesser span of time. They could be strong mentorship. They could be critical thinking and problem solving skills that the students will be able to develop, as well as they are diversified interests and opportunities that through multidisciplinary education we can make it possible. So, my research paper is based on intensive research that I've done in schools of Gurgaon. The abstract of my paper says NEP 2020, it stresses or lays emphasis on holistic and multidisciplinary education. The job landscape of India at the moment, it demands diverse skills and knowledge application for personal and societal benefit. Educational shift is there beyond cognitive development to shape the character and instill 21st century skills. As per NEP, the stakeholders' role is now of critical discussions as well as inculcating in students uh, measures so that they move away from rote learning through diverse teaching methods. The transaction mechanism includes holistic education so as they could follow and move towards a diverse career path. The deliberations include identifying approaches for multidisciplinary education and skill development. So, as quoted, I would like to quote this, which is a very famous quote of 2019, cited in Lyell. We cannot resolve any of the big challenges we face in the future with just people who have sat in silos coming together. We need young professionals who have come up in this way to see the interconnections. So, education is not only about imparting the 3 R's or making children learn, but it is also about making them think. So, the introduction of my paper talks about interdisciplinary approach in education. It goes at length about the connection between the schools and universities and the responsibilities of the universities to also hold hands with schools so as to have the overall development. Since I am looking after a school, my perspective is that the benefits of multiple multidisciplinary approach should reach the students so as they are able to carve out a beautiful career for themselves when they leave the school and move towards universities. Our aim is that as children should be able to have problem solving and career opportunities, and of course, sky is the limit for that. The objectives of my study are to explore the obstacles and develop strategies to align with the goal of multidisciplinary and holistic learning experience for students. So, when we talk about multidisciplinary, we mean to say that in one go, a child is able to form connections between three to four diverse subjects, and the same topic is learned in four to five perspectives. This leads to not only saving time, but it helps the brain to form connections in the best possible way, leading to holistic learning. Another objective is to deliberate and understand diverse ways for breaking down the boundaries between various disciplines and empowering the students to take up courses as per their interests or specialization. To discover and investigate approaches to promote flexible and innovative curriculum for skill and competency development, because we now are talking of shift from rote learning to competency based education. That means it is not just knowledge but also the attitude and the skills which encompassate, which includes, which is all comprehensively included in competencies. To discuss opportunities to provide courses that focus on critical thinking, including values for individual development for the creation of sustainable environment and societies. So, this is how I went ahead and did the review of literature. I did a number of studies. They were based on targeted teaching, not only in India but abroad. Continued improvement assessments. How should our assessments be also improved or done differently? Multidisciplinary application testing. Fostered interdisciplinary connections, project based and collaborative learning, formative assessments, and real world scenario integration. The specific teaching pedagogies. I hope I am audible. Yeah. So, the specific teaching pedagogies include multidisciplinary integrated curriculum, which means that we need to organize the standards around a central theme. We need to have the collaborative teaching going on and involve teachers from different subjects. We need to have meaningful connections and encourage cross subject connections. The characteristics of for learning improvement includes rigor, includes applied learning, solving the problems of the real world, exploring multiple ways of doing things, having assessment practices, which includes performance based assessments, evaluation criteria, which is reflected upon by teaching community, multidisciplinary assessments. I would give some examples, like examples of fusion in curriculum would include the peace theme, the basic skills fusion, the technology integration, as well as the literacy across curriculum. With the endorsements of compulsory internships in school education, it is possible to change this mindset through a tokenism of vocational training. So, as per India's skill report, which is cited here, 2019 CIA, 84% of Indian students prefer internships. However, only 37% of organizations provide such opportunities for children. This makes a very strong case for internships to be made compulsory, starting from intermediate students and exposing them to apply the concepts learned in a particular skill domain. Yeah, just want to make sure that my screen is visible and yeah. Am I audible to everyone? Okay. Employability at a high rate of 47% in 2019. These are some of the statistics, 2 to 3% from the previous years and 15% in the past 5 years. So the mindset reforms they needed at all the three levels, that is the level of the parents and the level of, yeah, yes, I just need to know if I am audible. Uh, okay, right. I'll continue. So the mindset reforms needed at three levels, that is parents, teachers, schools, and community are essential. The learner-centric process is crucial for education reforms. The vocational courses require only 12 hours of teaching time. The policy it promotes, an education policy promotes hands-on experience in vocational crafts. It also emphasizes teacher education to recognize student talents and lot of training of teachers. As Confucius said, learning without thought is labor lost. Thought without learning is perilous. So true. The various approaches to promote critical thinking skills are open ended questions, problem solving challenges. This is what in our classroom, all these changes are already adapted in our classrooms. And let me tell you that we are encouraging the creativity, having a lot of interactive games with the students, which are integrated with our curriculum. We teach them to be independent thinker, provide them ideal examples, and have a lot of classification skills. Mind connections are formed, vocabulary lessons are there, demonstrations and productive debates and peer assessments. Design thinking is a very important way to do problem solving, which children are looking into. The leaders they are able to contribute towards flexible learning networks, as the blended learning is here to stay. The flexible learning is really working out very well. So the integrative model between the industry and schools is what I would like to integrate, I would like to advocate. It is based on the duality principle, that is a consensus between the government and the private companies. Government is to promote transparency of qualifications, and there is a joint certifications from both the ends. This is something that is going to really help the schools. It will really help the children, and the vocational acceptance of vocational training is something even the parents look out for. So, the integrative model that I am suggesting between industry and schools for encouraging vocational education training is something that in India has been lacking for quite some time. And we have been looking at the model of Germany, which we found very interesting. So, both the governments and private companies should be able to collaborate with each other. And this joint certification is something that is vouched for, which has to be implemented. The duality principle promotes transparency in qualifications as well as facilitating learner mobility. And the National Vocational Education Qualification Framework in India, developed by our Ministry of Human Resource Development, it serves as the nationally recognized qualification system. So the National Training Fund, which is being established, it helps to attract private investment, to enhance the course alignment and to have the content connections. We need to have hands-on problem solving and collaborative projects. The future oriented education is something which must include diverse sources, include narrative, cinema, virtual reality. It should have an emphasis on holistic approach with connections with history, like we do in Minecraft, a beautiful tool provided by Microsoft, wherein we reinvent history with the help of Minecraft games. Gamification is forming beautiful connections between the curriculum. Encourage interdisciplinary education for a comprehensive understanding of the past, the present, and the future. So, when I started with the methodology, I was able to give a number of examples. That is, studying a topic from the viewpoint of more than one discipline and solving a problem using a different disciplinary approach is something that we are talking about. Reducing the CO2 emissions from a car can be achieved by studying how to develop fuel chemistry or by studying how to improve car engine performance. Instead of teaching the unification of India only in the chapters of history in a single discipline, it can be taken up in multiple disciplines like in health, in language, in IT, and science. So I think the concept must have been clear. So this change in mindset is something which would lead to a lot of internship opportunities, hands-on experiences. Our board that is CBSC or Central Board of Secondary Education has also begun to introduce a lot of skill building courses like artificial intelligence, design thinking, and all students have to compulsory do 10 days of bagless periods wherein they just come to school to engage themselves in various activities, hands-on activities. So, endorsement of compulsory internship through networking, through career path clarity, through improved productivity and employer engagement is something that we are vouching for. Creating an integrative model for promoting vocational education and training through collaboration between industry and schools is going to lead to more transparency as well as adaptability. And if you look at it, the industry and academia, they need a very strong handshake. It is going to have enhancement of employability as well as reduced joblessness. Immense confidence to students will be there to gear up to face the industry. Improved skills, productivity, and professionalism is going to come their way, and they will get opportunities to put them on a successful career path. Various educational reforms that I am suggesting through my paper are improved course alignment, workplace related skills and attitudes, and then team based activities. Children must learn to work in collaboration and accept each other's good issues and good points. So, professional development and shared resources, planning partners for schools are extremely important. Therefore, this kind of analysis that I did, I had a study done with some of the students, an action research based study, wherein I checked with the students what were their apprehensions or their opinions about multidisciplinary learning. This is the questionnaire that I gave them that do you agree that this curriculum is required to improve learning? And what kind of vocational training, skill development is necessary? Can collaboration happen? Which educational reforms, according to them, are better? And the reforms that I have already spoken about, the pedagogical reforms, that is improving the skills and attitudes of teachers, teacher collaboration reforms, the school transition reforms, planning partners for the school, as well as specific curriculum credentials. The result of this kind of a study, is that 97% of educators agreed that multidisciplinary integrated curriculum is required by them. 96% agreed that vocational training, skill development, and they are necessary. 84% said that collaboration between industry and schools eases the students' skill development. And for choosing which educational reforms were better to introduce, for pedagogical reforms, there was highest agreement, that is 63%. And for teacher reforms, 21% agreement. And for school transition reforms, 16%. So, therefore, this effective multidisciplinary integrated curriculum model is there to address the real world problems, go beyond the classrooms, call in for competencies, connect the dots, and performance based assessments could be there. So, therefore, in conclusion, I can only say that the educators strongly support the implementation of this kind of curriculum. There is consensus amongst educators on importance of vocational training and skill development. And majority of educators suggest that achieving holistic and multidisciplinary education should focus on skill development. Skill development is the need of the hour, and the education policy can reshape and is in the path of reshaping the education system. Schools are on the path of fostering holistic development through multidisciplinary curricula. Integrative model between industry and schools in some places have already begun, and where it is not, it will soon start. And this is about my own school, how we go about it at Amity, a lot of integrated play and learning we do, simulations given to children, good communication skills developed, learning by imitation, reflection, talking, sharing, expressions and decision making, integrating science, cultures, environment, variations as process of learning provision, and then philosophical, intellectual, and spiritual talks. I would like to share a very short video with you, and this will give you an idea that how in our school we are moving towards multidisciplinary learning. You can see a number of things that the students are exposed to. It's a very short video, and then I will be open to Q&A. Communication and literacy are emphasized upon at all the levels, and integration of technology is one of the things that is really, really given a lot of importance. Sports, as well as reading time, synthesis of ideas are extremely important. Yeah. So that's all from my end. And now I am open to Q&A. If you have any questions, I can answer them. Okay. All right. Yes. So, bagless days. So, how we have been planning is that when the students finish their annual examinations in India, we give them a break of about 3 weeks or 4 weeks, when our physical education, art, and music teachers are absolutely free. They don't have any correction work to do. So that is the time we set up bagless days period for our children, and we do skill building exercise, and we make the students do work with their hands. They do gardening, they do carpentry, they do crochet, knitting work, and also electric gadgets, how to settle them. So this is how we have been doing. So we have put it in a curriculum at a place when our system is having space, when our teaching faculties are free of that domain, who can take up the bagless days, and depending on their performance, then we give them certificates as well. And we've received very good response ever since NEP is introduced. We have been doing it. Yeah, 2 years we have been doing bagless days by now for the middle school students, grade 6, 7, and 8, as chronicled in NEP. Thank you, Vidya, for this question. Right.
Thank you so much, Arti Chopra, for sharing your insights on the holistic development of learners in education through various education reforms. We really appreciate having you today and all our participants who attended today's session. Looking forward to seeing you all in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, and namaste to everyone.